When I arrived at the hospital to meet my newborn, the nurse said, "Your partner already picked the baby up an hour ago." I don't have a partner. The words didn't make sense. I stared at Nurse Dana, waiting for her to realize she'd mixed up patients. But she just smiled politely and tapped her tablet like everything was normal. "There must be a mistake," I said. "I gave birth alone. No one was authorized to pick up my daughter except me." Dana tilted her head. Oh, he was incredibly polite. He had all the correct paperwork, your due date, your ID number, your security answers, and even the baby's name. My stomach dropped. What did he look like? Tall, dark hair, wearing scrubs. He had a hospital badge and seemed familiar with the staff, she added quietly. He knew everything. I fumbled through my bag for the folder containing my birth plan, the big bold section that said single mother, no release to anyone. Then I pulled out the restraining order against my ex-boyfriend Cade. Dana's face went white. Oh my God, but he seemed legitimate. I didn't hear the rest. I was already sprinting down the hallway, calling 911 while shoving open the door to security. They sat me in a tiny office that smelled like old coffee and antiseptic. Footage loaded onto the monitor. A man in scrubs walked in through the maternity doors, carrying my newborn daughter like she belonged to him. He didn't hesitate, didn't ask for directions, had documentation ready when staff questioned him, walked out calmly 20 minutes later with my baby. The security officer zoomed in. The man's face was clear, and I had never seen him before. "Who is that?" I whispered. The detective replayed the footage, watching the man's movements carefully. Finally, he said, "We ran the plates on the truck he drove away in. It was rented yesterday, in cash." On the screen, the man strapped my daughter into the back seat. She looked impossibly tiny in the carrier, so helpless. The detective's phone rang. He stepped out, then returned with a grim expression. We ID'd him. Recognized the name Marcus Hale? I froze. Cade's older brother, Marcus, quiet, clean record, worked in medical supply distribution. Of course, that explained the badge, the scrubs, the confidence. Everything clicked and my knees buckled. Cade had been in jail for 6 months after the attack that sent me to the ER. I was the reason he was facing prison. Trial was in 3 weeks. "Has Marcus been visiting him?" I asked. The detective checked his notes. 4 times since fall, and your ex has been calling his mother twice a week. The detective looked up at me. "Did Cade know you were pregnant?" My hands shook so violently I had to sit down. "His mother knew," I whispered. She kept trying to guilt me into dropping the charges. I told her about the baby. I thought it would make her understand. The detective closed his eyes. That was all they needed. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message made my vision tunnel. "You ruined my life. Now watch me ruin yours. Drop the charges by 5 p.m. or she disappears." Below it, a photo of my newborn lying on a stranger's couch, still wrapped in her hospital blanket. The detective traced the phone to a burner, but tracked Marcus's truck to a rural property 40 miles away, owned by Cade's mother. Police surrounded the house. Through a window, we saw Marcus pacing with the baby in the living room. My phone rang again. Cade, calling from the jail. "Drop the charges," he hissed. "Tell them you lied. Do it now or Marcus keeps the baby." My voice trembled. "Cade, please. She's 3 days old. She needs the hospital. She needs me. You should have thought of that before destroying my future," he screamed. "I gave you everything. You broke my ribs," I whispered. "You nearly killed me." The negotiator tapped my shoulder. "Movement inside." "Cade," I said softly. "She's your daughter too." Silence. Then, "She's not mine. I know she's not mine. You cheated on me?" "I didn't cheat. I left because you were violent." Silence again. Then crying. "I just wanted you back. I thought if Marcus brought the baby, you'd need me. You'd come home." Through the window, Marcus set my daughter down on the couch, hands shaking as he backed away from her. Then, he opened the front door. "Hands up." "I'm sorry," he sobbed. Cade said it was the only way. He said she'd go back to him if he had the baby. Marcus surrendered without a fight. Marcus received 5 years for kidnapping. Cade received 10 more, lost all parental rights, and will never see me or my daughter again. My baby is 6 months old now, healthy, safe, and home where she belongs. Sometimes I still wake up at 3:12 a.m., the exact time the nurse said my daughter had been picked up. I'll walk to her crib, brushing my fingers over her tiny hand, checking again that she's breathing, that she's warm, that she's here. Logically, I know she's safe. Emotionally, my body still remembers the moment the world shattered beneath my feet. Babies forget. Mothers don't. A month after everything happened, I got a letter from Cade's mother, handwritten. The same looping cursive she used on birthday cards she never sent on time. Inside was a single sentence. "You should have been grateful my boys wanted to raise that baby." I folded it once, twice, then tore it down the middle. Then I threw up in the sink, grateful. As if being controlled, monitored, stalked, and beaten meant I owed them something. As if my daughter was a possession they could barter for power. Some days I think that sentence haunts me more than the kidnapping itself. The police returned the hospital footage 2 weeks later. They told me I didn't have to keep it. I should have deleted it, but I didn't. Because part of me needed to remember how easily a stranger, someone with no legal right, no blood tie, no claim, walked straight into the maternity ward and left with my child like he was picking up a prescription order. Sometimes I rewatch it, never all the way. Just enough to remind myself why locks matter, why boundaries matter, why I double-check windows and keep my phone beside the bed and flinch whenever a truck with out-of-state plates slows down near my house. I'm not paranoid, just a mother who learned the hard way. My daughter is named Ivy, 6 months old now, bright-eyed, constantly smiling like the world hasn't shown her its edges yet. She giggles when I kiss behind her ear. She chews on my hair when I carry her. She falls falls asleep with her hand curled around my shirt like she's anchoring me in place. The first week she was home, she cried every time I left the room, even for a second. A trauma therapist told me it was normal. Babies remember the sudden absence of warmth, heartbeat, smell. Even without language, their bodies know. I carried her everywhere. Cooked with her on my hip, folded laundry with her strapped to my chest, showered with her bassinet pushed up against the curtain so she could see me. Now she's calmer, secure, safe, but I still check on her 20 times a night. Old wounds don't heal on a timeline. Last month, Detective Harrow visited with final case documents. He set a manila folder on my kitchen table. "That's everything," he said. "All closed." I stared at the folder like it was going to burst into flames. "Closed," I repeated. He nodded. "Marcus won't be eligible for early release. And Cade, well, he'll be away until Ivy is a teenager." Teenager. I couldn't imagine her that old, tall, opinionated, asking for keys to the car, rolling her eyes at my rules. It almost made me cry. "How do I move on?" I asked. He hesitated, then said something that stuck with me. "You don't move on. You move around it. That's how people survive things like this." 2 weeks ago, something happened that gutted me in the best and worst way. Ivy was lying on her playmat, kicking her legs, grabbing at the little dangling plush fox. I walked into the kitchen, 5 seconds, maybe less. When I stepped back into the living room, she wasn't smiling. She was screaming, not hungry, not tired, not a diaper cry. A terror scream, the kind that rips through a baby's whole body. I scooped her up instantly. "It's okay, baby. I'm here. Mama's right here." But she kept screaming, fists clenched, face sweaty and red, shaking like she thought I'd disappeared forever. It took 10 minutes to calm her. I held her on the couch afterward, her cheek pressed to my chest, my hand covering her tiny back, and then it hit me. Her first memory, her first imprint of fear might have been being taken from me. Held by a stranger, moved to a strange place, wrapped in unfamiliar arms. Babies don't understand kidnapping, but their bodies do. My daughter had survived something she'll never remember, and I'll never forget. A few days later, I got a call from the prison. A voicemail. "This is the facility calling regarding inmate Cade Elwood. He is attempting to add you to his approved contact list. Please call back to authorize or deny." I stood frozen at the sink. The audacity, the gall, the delusion. I pressed delete before the message even finished. Then I went into Ivy's room, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "He doesn't get to exist here." I meant it. Sometimes, late at night, when Ivy is asleep and the house is quiet, I sit in the rocking chair and imagine the life I thought I'd have. The one where I raised her peacefully, where I cut her umbilical cord and held her first, where I breastfed her in the hospital bed without police officers and detectives filling out reports in the hallway, where her first picture wasn't on someone else's couch. I mourn that life, but then Ivy makes a tiny sound in her sleep, a snuffle, a sigh, and her fingers twitch, like she's dreaming of forests or clouds or warmth, and I realize something else. The life I have with her is one we fought for, one we earned, one we built through hell and fire and fear, and we're still here. Yesterday, at a Mommy and Me group, one of the other mothers said, half jokingly, "Wow, Ivy is such a mama's girl. She never wants to be put down." I smiled. If she only knew. If she knew what Ivy's first 3 days were like. If she knew what it feels like to hold a baby who once disappeared from your world without warning. If she knew why my hands shake whenever someone else reaches out to hold her. I didn't explain. I just held Ivy a little tighter. She curled into me, warm and soft, her breath brushing my collarbone. And I thought, let her cling, let her want me, let her need my heartbeat pressed against hers. She deserves a mother who never lets go. And God knows I never will. Sometimes people say things like, "You're so strong. You handled it so well." I can't imagine going through that. But strength isn't what got us here. Fear did. Instinct did. Love did. Strength came later. Strength is the quiet way Ivy sleeps through the night now. The way I don't jump every time my phone buzzes. The way I've stopped checking the front door twice before bed. Okay, maybe I still check twice. Strength is living again. Healing isn't dramatic. It's slow, unremarkable, made of tiny, invisible victories. Like the fact that today, I took a nap with Ivy on my chest and didn't wake up gasping in panic. Like the fact that next week, I'm going back to work part-time and I'm not terrified of leaving the house. Like the fact that Ivy laughs more than she cries. Like the fact that every morning, when I pick her up from her crib, she looks at me like I'm her entire world, and she is mine, always.